It's almost a daily event now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some headline drops about a mind-blowing AI breakthrough.
Oh, absolutely. Feels like it. Yeah.
And while it's exciting to think about the possibilities, honestly, trying to keep track of what's truly significant, well, it can feel like a full-time job in itself.
It really can. The sheer volume of news is it's pretty intense. And that's where, having a focused discussion like this helps.
Right.
We need to cut through the noise and understand what these developments actually mean for the bigger picture.
Exactly. And for this deep dive, we've got a great set of sources, a really sharp AI-focused newsletter, and some insightful social media updates you flagged.
Hmm.
Our goal today is to drill down into a bunch of recent AI releases with a special focus on, well, the flurry of activity coming out of Google.
Right.
But we also want to understand what's happening with other key players like Grok and Anthropic, and maybe even touch on some practical AI tools and a fascinating research approach you highlighted.
Sounds like a comprehensive plan. And you're right, Google has certainly been making a lot of noise recently.
You can say that again. The newsletter's headline practically jumped off the page. Google wows with major new releases. The Gemini maker came to a knife fight, packing a bazooka.
Haha, yeah. That really sets the stage, doesn't it?
It does.
It signals a significant shift in their strategy, I think, a much more assertive move into the generative AI space. Makes you wonder what prompted such a concentrated burst of announcements all at once.
Okay, let's unpack this bazooka of news then. Yeah. Starting with Gemini 2.5 Flash. What's the core idea here? What's the significance?
Well, the key focus with Flash seems to be on delivering speed and efficiency. The newsletter highlights that it offers developers that crucial speed,
Okay.
while still maintaining a good level of thinking capabilities, as they put it.
Okay, so fast and smart.
Exactly. This is important because it suggests Google is aiming to sort of bridge the gap between the smaller, quicker models and the larger ones that have more reasoning power.
Right.
Think about, applications where you need really fast responses, but also some level of intelligence, like interactive AI assistants inside apps.
That makes a lot of sense. So it's not just speed for speed's sake. Got it. Okay, next up, Firebase Studio. This one sounds like it could really shake up app development.
It certainly has that potential. The newsletter describes it as an end-to-end platform, basically designed to let you build and deploy applications using simple prompts.
Perhaps.
Yeah. It's clearly positioned to compete with existing tools like Cursor and Bolt. The goal is making the development process much more accessible. Imagine just sort of describing the app you want
Wow.
and having the platform guide you through actually creating it.
That's pretty revolutionary.
Oh,
Could you give me your simple example? Like, could someone just type in, build me a basic weather app for my city? Is it that straightforward?
well, that's the general idea. Obviously, the complexity of the final app would depend on how detailed your prompt is.
Sure.
But yeah, the aim is to allow someone with just a concept, maybe without deep coding knowledge, to actually start building something functional. It lowers that barrier to entry quite significantly.
Wow. Okay. Very cool. Moving on, VO2 is now available in API. For someone like me, not coding daily, what's the practical implication of that?
It means Google's advanced video generation model, VO2, is now accessible to developers through their Gemini API.
Okay.
So if you have a billing account set up Tier 1 or above, they specify you can integrate VO2's capabilities directly into your own apps or workflows.
Capabilities like what specifically?
Things like generating video from text prompts or even turning still images into video clips.
Right.
It essentially puts these really cutting-edge video creation tools within reach for a much wider range of uses. Think marketing teams quickly generating product demos, maybe, or educators creating visual aids on the fly.
Interesting. So embedding that power into other platforms makes sense. And the Live API also got some significant upgrades, right?
Absolutely. It's now officially launched for production use. That signals it's stable, ready for prime time, basically.
Good sign.
And the big news includes expanded language support. They added 30 new languages. Plus, there are 2 new voices, better voice detection accuracy, and a revamped user interface. So just overall, a much more versatile and user-friendly tool for anything involving voice AI.
Okay. Good updates there. Now let's dive into the hardware side of things. Ironwood TPU. That sounds like some serious processing power.
It is, yeah. This is Google's 7th generation tensor processing unit. It's specifically engineered for accelerating AI inference.
Inference,
Yeah,
that's running the trained models, right?
exactly. Running the models to get predictions or generate content. And the specs are quite impressive. Over 42 exaflops of computing power per pod.
Per pod. How many chips is that?
Over 9,000 individual chips in a single pod. It's a level of compute power that, previously you'd only really see in massive supercomputing setups.
Wow.
It also features significantly larger memory capacity, 192 gigabytes, which is 6 times more than the previous generation, and much faster data access. You really need this kind of muscle to run these increasingly huge and complex AI models efficiently.
Right, that's the engine under the hood, making all this advanced AI actually work at scale.
Yeah.
Okay, then we have Agent-to-Agent, a new open protocol. What's the core challenge this is trying to solve?
Agent-to-Agent is trying to create a standard, secure way for different AI agents to talk to each other and collaborate effectively.
Even if they're on different platforms.
Exactly. Even from different companies or ecosystems. As we see more and more specialized AI agents popping up for specific tasks, getting them to communicate and work together smoothly becomes really critical. Think of it like establishing, I don't know, common languages and security rules so different AI systems can actually interact safely and effectively.
That makes perfect sense. You need these different autonomous systems to coordinate somehow.
So truly.
Okay. And finally, within the Google stack, these new media generation tools for Vertex AI,
Right.
Lyria for music, enhanced VO2 editing, and Chirp 3 with custom voices. It's quite a collection.
It is. Lyria focuses on generating music from text prompts, another step in Google's multimodal AI push.
Text to music, okay.
The enhanced video editing for VO2 suggests they're moving towards giving users more fine-grained control over the videos AI generates.
Which is important.
Definitely. And Chirp 3's new ability to create 10-second custom voices is particularly interesting. Imagine the possibilities for, personalized audio experiences or unique voices for AI assistants.
Yeah, lots of potential there. Okay, that was a whirlwind tour of Google's AI Blitz.
All right.
It definitely feels like they're laying down a significant marker, a real statement.
For sure. A bazooka, as the newsletter said.
Right. But as we said, they're not the only ones making moves. Grok and Anthropic also had some notable updates. Start with Grok. What's new there?
Yes, so Grok 3 and Grok 3 Mini are now accessible through an API. That means developers can start integrating these models into their own applications.
Finally available, okay. Pricing.
We got details on that too. Grok 3 is priced at $3 per $1 million input tokens and $15 per $1 million output tokens.
15 for output, wow.
Yeah. While Grok 3 Mini is significantly cheaper at $0.30 for input and $0.50 for output.
Okay, quite a difference. And how does that pricing compare to, say, the competition? The newsletter had some thoughts.
That's right. It pointed out that Grok 3's pricing seems to be basically on par with Anthropic's Claude 3.7 Sonnet.
Okay.
But it's more expensive than Google's own Gemini 2.5 Pro.
Interesting.
So it suggests that Grok is positioning its top model as a premium offering, cost-wise, well, at least for now. It makes you wonder what specific advantages they think Grok 3 offers to justify that higher price point,
Yeah, definitely positioning it at the high end.
Right.
What about Anthropic? They addressed a key pain point for some of their heavier users, I believe.
Exactly. They rolled out new Claude subscription plans with much higher usage limits.
More capacity.
Yeah. The new tiers offer a 5-fold increase in usage for $100 a month and a pretty substantial 20-fold increase for $200 a month.
20 times more. Okay.
So this directly tackles that issue of power users hitting their rate limits constantly. And another perk, subscribers to the top max plan get priority access to new features and models.
Ah, an extra incentive.
Right. Rewarding their most active users with more capacity and first dibs on the new stuff.
That's a smart move. Keeps the power users happy. Now, shifting gears slightly, there were a few other interesting AI and tech developments that caught your eye beyond these major players, right?
Yes, a few notable updates definitely worth mentioning. Microsoft is currently testing an enhanced version of Copilot, one that can apparently directly interact with what's on your screen in Windows apps.
Interact how? Like click buttons?
Potentially, yeah, or at least understand the context deeply. Imagine asking Copilot for real-time guidance while you're in Photoshop, or maybe even Minecraft. It could potentially walk you through tasks or suggest solutions based on what you're looking at right then.
That sounds incredibly practical, especially for learning complex software or getting past a tricky bit in a game like having a context-aware helper right there.
Precisely. Then there's the ongoing legal drama between OpenAI and Elon Musk.
Oh, right.
OpenAI has now filed a countersuit. They're alleging a sham takeover attempt and a campaign of harassment from Musk's side. It just highlights the intense competition and, frankly, the complex, sometimes messy relationships shaping the AI industry.
Definitely a story with a lot of layers. We'll see how that plays out. What else did you spot?
Adobe is integrating what they're calling creative agents into their big apps like Photoshop and Premiere Pro.
Creative agents.
Yeah. AI-powered agents designed to help streamline creative workflows. They can analyze content, suggest edits, automate repetitive stuff. This could really boost productivity for creative pros.
Sounds like it could be a real game changer for designers, video editors, freeing them up for the actual creative thinking.
Absolutely. And maybe more on the consumer or small business side, WordPress has launched a new free AI-powered website builder.
Free? How does that work?
It lets you create functional websites just by having a chat conversation with the AI. Describe what you want, it builds it. There is a limit, though, 30 free prompts. After that, you need to subscribe to one of their paid hosting plans.
Okay, but still, a pretty accessible way for anyone to get started online, using AI to simplify the whole website creation thing.
Exactly. And finally, just quickly, some interesting funding rounds for AI startups. Solve Intelligence in legal tech, NextGen Cloud doing GPU infrastructure, and Artisan developing AI sales agents all got significant funding.
So, continued strong investment across the board.
Yeah, shows the innovation isn't slowing down in various niches.
Okay, so we've covered the major announcements, the broader news. Now let's move into the practical AI for the learner section. You highlighted a really interesting tool for staying up to date with research, AlphaXF.
Yes, AlphaXF. If you're someone who needs to keep track of academic research, especially stuff posted on RxF.
Which is a lot in AI and related fields.
Exactly. This looks like a very promising tool. It basically lets you instantly research papers using AI. You sign up, go to the Assistant tab, type in your research question like, what are the latest breakthroughs in RL fine-tuning? And it will generate a summary of relevant trending papers, key insights, context. You can even use the @TEP symbol to point it at specific papers you want it to look at in your query.
That sounds like it could save researchers and students just an enormous amount of time instead of manually digging through papers.
Absolutely. Turning what could be hours, literally hours, of literature review into a matter of seconds. That's a huge boost for research productivity.
No kidding. And you also highlighted 5 other AI tools aimed more at general productivity. Let's briefly touch on those.
Sure. First, Grimo, described as a platform for unrestricted writing, expressing ideas freely. Kind of an open canvas.
Okay.
Then I asked AI, which claims to be a highly accurate answer engine for complex questions, and notably doesn't require a login.
Interesting.
Vapi AI focuses on creating voice agents for things like automated phone calls, customer engagement, that sort of thing.
Right, voice automation.
EasySite is all about building websites without needing to write code, and it includes automated features for capturing leads and sales, another web builder option.
Got it.
And finally, Amurex is presented as a smart AI companion to help manage tasks and streamline workflows. Sort of an AI assistant for productivity.
The diverse set of tools, isn't it? Really showcases how AI is being applied to make all sorts of work and life tasks more efficient.
Definitely. The breadth is really expanding.
Now, you also included a section called social signals. What kind of insights can we pull from looking at those real-time conversations? What are people actually doing?
Yeah, this section is great because it gives a snapshot of how people and companies are actually using and reacting to these AI tools in the wild, you know?
Real-world usage.
Exactly. For example, there was mention of a company called Kairos AI. They claim their AI can automate tasks just by watching your screen activity.
Watching your screen, wow.
Yeah, a very hands-off, potentially powerful way to automate things. Seems almost like science fiction.
It really does.
We also saw someone, Paul Kuvert, sharing his experience actually building an app using Google's new Firebase Studio. So a real-world test case right away. Henrique Cruz from Rose showed a guide on using AI within spreadsheets, super practical for data analysis folks. And even Notion is getting deeper into AI integrations with something called their Modular Component Protocol, or MCP.
It's fascinating seeing these applications pop up
Yeah.
and how different platforms are weaving AI in.
Yeah.
Oh, and there was also that striking example of AI art, wasn't there? The Tokyo rainfall image.
Yes, that image
Oh, sure.
created using Midjourney. The prompt was apparently very detailed, focusing on capturing that specific mood and look of rainy days in Tokyo.
And the result was stunning.
It really was. Highlights the incredible creative potential these image generation tools now have.
Absolutely. Breathtaking results are becoming, well, almost commonplace.
Mm-hmm.
So, as we bring this deep dive toward a close, what would you say are the main takeaways from this whirlwind of AI updates?
I think the most significant takeaway is just the sheer momentum behind Google's recent AI push. They've unleashed a huge number of new models, tools, hardware, clearly signaling they intend to be a dominant force.
The bazooka.
The bazooka, right. But we also saw important moves from competitors like Grok and Anthropic, each carving out their own strategies.
What?
And finally, we looked at a range of practical AI tools and research methods that people can actually start using right now to boost their productivity, their learning.
It definitely underscores just how rapidly this whole landscape is evolving. It could feel like a lot to process, for sure. But hopefully this deep dive has given you, our listener, a clearer picture of the most important developments recently.
Hopefully.
So here's maybe a final thought to chew on. With Google embedding AI so deeply across its entire ecosystem and all these new innovative players constantly emerging, how is this rapid pace of innovation really going to reshape our daily workflows, our creative processes, maybe just in the next few months?
That's the big question, isn't it?
It is. It's something we'll all be experiencing and adapting to, I think.
Indeed, the evolution of AI is definitely an ongoing journey, and staying informed about these key shifts, these advancements, it's going to be essential for pretty much everyone, whether you're a developer or a researcher or just someone curious about where technology is taking us.